Hi, this is Kelly from Crafty Kelly's at www.craftykelly.co.uk. Today I'm bringing you a project from the Altenew collection. This is for my Class 4 education program, Easy Blending Inks techniques. So we're going to do a bit of a emboss resist technique and do some blending with some lovely inks. So I've got this lovely little set from Altenew which is called Darling Lily. It's smaller than some of their other sets, but it's just got this really nice outline stamp, and it's the only actual outline stamp I've got from Altenew at the moment, so I thought this would work quite nicely. So I'm just going to bring in a couple of colours. So I'm going to be using the Garden Green, and I've got a Mango Melody from Stampin' Up because I needed a yellow. I've got my Load and Fold from Rare Earth, and I've got some Whisper White cardstock from Stampin' Up. I've already prepped my stamp so it's ready to go, and I've just about positioned it, so I'm just going to grab my inks and prep stuff. I'm going to emboss in white, make sure it's nice and crisp. I could do it in clear, but I want to make sure I've got a really white crisp image. So I'm just prepping my cardstock with an anti-static bag. This just puts like a layer of powder down to actually resist the powder where the sticky ink isn't. I'm not going to stick that into place because it should just nestle in there, so it should be all right. This is the Rare Earth glass ink, or clear glass ink. This is their particular embossing ink. There are others available. Versamark have a really good one, and Ranger do too. So there are a couple of options out there if you don't already have some embossing ink. So I'm going to pop that down. You may not be able to see, but there's like a very faint image there, just kind of shiny. So I'm going to pop that in there, and I just want to get a little bit of the flower on here. So we're going to pop it back down, pick it back up and re-ink. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So this is going to go over to one side. Just bringing in a scrap piece of cardstock, or it's actually just copy paper, but sprinkling my embossing powder all over. Okay, you can see where it's taken really nicely. There's a thick kind of layer of that powder stuck perfectly. The rest of this can go back in the pot. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in my heat tool, so it's going to get a bit noisy for a second, but always when you're when you're heat embossing, always heat your tool up before you take it to the cardstock because it prevents warping. So I just kept my heat tool moving around, not wafting, but moving from place to place as soon as you saw the heat emboss melt, the embossing powder melt, keep it moving. So that has come out very nicely, happy with that. Just going to bring in a craft mat so I can do some squidges. And I'm going to use the Rare Earth blending tools because they're one of my favourite blending tools. And we're going to start with doing a yellow splodge, or kind of splodge. The new ink pads from Stampin' Up, you don't always get a good kind of coverage straight. We used to, with new ink pads from Stampin' Up, you don't get a good transfer of ink from the pad to the lid like you used to. It's a bit stiffer, so I don't always get what I want. But okay, so I'm just going to come in from this corner and build it up around here. I'm now going to bring in a bit of green. And change brushes. Just squidge a bit on the mat. And then I'm just going to pick it up with my brush. Oh, that's a lovely green. I'm just working it into the bristles, and then we're going to come in this bottom corner. So at the moment you can see that the ink is slightly on the embossing powder, so I'm just going to leave that for a second and grab a paper towel to wipe off any excess which is on the embossing powder. So I've just got a paper towel and I'm just going to wipe down to get off any powder that's on the embossed area. So we've got that really clear crisp white. See, lovely, 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 lovely. Just a bit more in there. There we go. So I'm just going to pop that to one side for the moment, and we want to create our sentiment. So I'm using the Label Love stamp set, and I'm going to use the You Inspire Me stamp. We've already got it prepped. It's been used, but it's playing up a little bit, so we will hopefully get a nice clean stamp. I'm just using the jet black ink from Altenew. going to go over that again. Just a few bits. The ME doesn't seem to be stamping nicely for me, which is a bit irritating. That'll do. I've got a nice black transfer there. So I'm just going to snip this out, and I'm not going to leave a border, so I just want that kind of, the black to be my edge. Well, but there we go. So we're going to bring this together. And I think I want some splatters of green. So because of that, I'm just going to bring in my mat. And I'm going to put down some green on there. And get one of my little brushes. Looks like it's got blue on it. Had blue. Alright. Just going to pick some of that green up as much as I can. Move everything else out of the way because this can get messy. And a little splatter. There we go. To start constructing. So I've got a white card base which I've cut from some Whisper white cardstock from Stampin' Up. And this panel is going to be raised up. So as you can tell, I'm coming to the end of my dimensionals, so I'm using up what's on my sheet. So there we go, and then our sentiment is also going to be raised up. Where have I put it? Okay, so I've got the You Inspire Me, and I'm just going to pop that up on some dimensionals. And I think I'm going to pop you on a skewer-y. I'm not going to keep you straight. So there we go. Card nice and finished. Quite a clean card. It got a bit of speckliness on there. Got some colour blending and some resist with the embossed area. So this has been Kelly from Crafty Kellys, bringing you my fourth submission for my Altenew course. I hope you've enjoyed doing this with me today. You can find me at www.craftykelly.co.uk. Thanks very much now. Bye.